Hello and welcome to the show. For today's hill climb monster, we have a rather interesting car. This is the BMW 507, a vehicle I can never decide if I quite like it or not. From some angles I think it looks great. It's one of the few cars I think looks better from the back than it does from the front. There's something about the front of this car that's a little bit peculiar. However, I do think that this stands a pretty good chance of going very quickly up the mountain. Classic cars have tended to do quite well. It is relatively light to begin with, and I expect to get a decent amount of power. Although whether we will have the grip or not, that is the bigger question. We shall start, of course, by putting the vehicle onto snow tyres. That jumps our PI up into B class already. It's a lot of PI from the snow tyres, but there we go. We can get 255s on the front, which is not too bad, actually. Front tyres. And, okay, we can only get 255s on the rear. It's okay. It's okay. It's not quite going to have the grip of some cars, although the Volvo was on 265s, and that leads the table. So, we might be able to get away with it. We will, of course, also swap the driveline to all-wheel drive. Engine-wise, I think we're going to have to change it, unfortunately. In the BMW, the standard engine, you know, it's a decent enough engine for when the car was made. There's also a really weird front... Okay, it looks even weirder now at the front. Let's not look at the front of the car. We could have a dainty little rear wing going on there. We'll see if we have... if we need to save a bit of weight, if we've got PI left over and so on, we can mess around with that. We're going to go brakes, we're going to go suspension, of course, along with the anti-roll. Like, Horizon 3's menu system is a whole lot faster than just about any Forza game. I still tend to want to work quicker than it will allow me to, but that's just me. Now, weight reduction, what are we at the moment? We're at £3,000. I mean, I would like the car to be on the lighter side. We're going to do that for now. I'll have a look at what the standard engine can do, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be enough, even with when the twin turbos adding only 30 horsepower. That's when you know you're kind of in trouble with this one. I will give it a try. We're almost up to the top of A class, which is something, I guess. And then with the thing is that we've burnt through all the big power gains here, so yeah, okay, it's not gonna do it. It'll get an okay amount of power. However, we need more. Basically, I could just hear my kitten rummaging around. You are liking to be distracting over there, Cass. Don't knock the Lego box off. I can see you. He's really liking to be a pain in the arse when I'm doing these builds, apparently. Normally, he's really good. Normally, if I'm recording, he will bugger off and leave me alone. But right now, you are being a pain in the arse. Sorry, distracted. Engine. We can have a 6.2 litre V8 or the 3.2 litre i6. The V8 is going to be the way to go, I think, here. It's a little bit heavier, but we can save some of that weight with the likes of exhaust. Plus, I might even be tempted to go for the next stage of weight reduction. We'll have a look. We'll have a think. In fact, that exhaust didn't save quite as much as I had hoped. How much PI will the weight reduction... Oops, that's in the wrong category. We will come to that stuff later. How much will you save? That's actually pretty reasonable, down to £2,500. It doesn't jump the PI up that much either, so I am going to do that. Means we've got a lovely power-to-weight ratio going on in this car. Now, it is naturally aspirated. So far, this engine, we could go for more power. We could go for more power courtesy of a turbo or a supercharger on this. By the looks of it, we're actually going to have to. Okay, that's fine by me. Where we have to put on something like this, we can go for twin turbo or we can go for a supercharger. Now, they both actually, interestingly, give the car exactly the same power and exactly the same torque. The turbos are slightly lighter. The supercharger, though, a nicer power curve. You know what? We're going to go supercharger on this. I wanted to go supercharger with the Ford, but that engine didn't quite pan out, so we're going to go for a supercharger on the BMW. We will have to just dump off one of these bits down API. There we go, 722 horsepower in our BMW. That is a lot of power. That's a lot of power in this car. We are going to... Kitten, why are you so fascinated by Lego box? Yes, you. It's cardboard. My cat loves to eat cardboard. I don't know if this is a normal cat thing, but he absolutely loves it. Like, there's a cardboard box around, he'll play with it and then decide to eat half of it. And I say eat it, he doesn't actually kind of properly eat it, he just kind of bites it and plays. What have you got? Sorry, my cat is being annoying. I might have to start chasing him out when I go to record. Sorry, there is a car being built here. Honestly, these videos are more turning into me trying to get my cat to behave than it is to be building a car. I think our BMW is ready to go, though. With some 700 horsepower, this thing is, well, quite ridiculous. That's a massive power-to-weight ratio in this one. Okay-sized tyres. I do fear we might struggle in terms of control. I guess there's only really one way to find out, though. So, it is off to the Devil's Corners hill climb with our BMW. It's going to get 3 runs up this course in an attempt to go faster than the Volvo 242, or 157.0 is the time to beat. The BMW, I think, stands a chance of going quick. I fear it might be quite out of control. We shall have to wait and see. I like the interior of this car. Bloody hell, it is very fast in a straight line. I think the best view from this vehicle is from inside, actually. It's a really cool interior in the BMW. It's mega fast down towards turn 1, and we are pretty good through these corners. I'm impressed so far with the handling. I mean, it's a little bit... It would be very easy to slide this car around a lot. I don't particularly want to be doing that, or just not turn in enough like a moron. That's my bad. It's quite easy to get caught out, actually, up that hill. I've had myself in a bit of trouble there before with various vehicles. Oh, get it slowed around here. It feels like it's carrying some decent speed, and then we can get on the power now. 130 miles an hour is about as quick as we have seen anything go down here. I'm not quite sure of the brakes, so that was a little bit timid on this first run, but we're certainly not that far off some of the fastest accelerating cars that have got 107 miles an hour as we leave the jump there. This is looking pretty damn promising for the BMW. There's kind of hard to find too much in the way of faults with this car. Yeah, I would like a little bit more rear-end grip. However, on the whole, it is pretty damn fast. I've made a couple of small errors. We've been out of position and so on, and again, we're going to be wide there. We should be mega fast down the icy straight here once more. Can we carry the speed off of the... Ooh, we can, off of the turn. There's a little bit close to the wall. At 105 miles an hour we go. Slow it down for the last couple of turns. It's going to be a solid foundation, I think, to build upon for our BMW as a low 58. It's definitely quick. 58.2 on the first run. Did involve a little bit of a clonk on the wall. Yeah, definitely a very, very nice car, that one. So it is on to our second run with the car. About a second is needed if we are to go to the top of the table. Might that be achievable? I think so. 123 miles an hour down into that first corner. Now, try and keep everything under control. I mean, the trick with cars like these, you've got to be relatively smooth with them. Otherwise, you're just going to lose a lot of time by sliding about all over the place. But if you try and be a little bit too cautious, it's easy to try and be sort of a little early on the brakes, you know, trying to get sort of nice lines and so on through corners, and then just end up being a little bit slow while everything is perfectly in control. So there's a very fine line that you've got to try and find with cars like this one. Unlike with a Countach, where you can really just drive the Countach pretty much as hard as you like, and there was grip in that. This is not quite as grippy. We were playing that quite risky on the rock face there. 124 miles an hour out of the 125 out of the BMW before getting on the brakes there. It's the car. Damn, that is so fast. It is so fast out of the corners. The supercharged V8 is working wonders in our little lightweight roadster. Oh, carefully does it now into the hairpin. This is probably the section the BMW won't like as much as some other cars. I don't think we have the ultimate grip of some vehicles. However, we are going very quickly indeed. And again, up here, we have seen cars going flat out. The BMW not quite. I have to have a little bit of a lift onto the icy straight we go. BMW very, very good across the bumps. I'm kind of surprised. It's not a car that you would traditionally associate with being good off-road. However, it is doing a mighty fine job across these as we round the penultimate corner. This is looking like a record to me as we head up towards the finish line. Oh, it's very quick indeed. That's ridiculous. A 55.9 from the BMW. It absolutely annihilates the table. That might be the biggest sort of jump forward we've had in times for, well, the entire series almost. That's absurd. We've still got one more run. Bloody hell. Well, I guess that means we're going to have to try and, well, see if we can set the target time even further away from the rest of the field. Typical, last time I was talking about how close all the times were. I mean, this isn't the biggest margin of lead that we've ever seen in a build series. It's still relatively close in some respects. However, yeah, this is a very good car. This is an incredibly good car for this course. Oh, come on, turn. There we go. And then put power down out the other side. It's kind of got the perfect amount of... Oh, I've run a little bit wide. We can now get a sort of a late apex and try and fire the car. So might not have lost too much time in all of that. But yeah, this is kind of the perfect combination of crazy amounts of power but still having enough control to get away with all of the ferocity. I don't think I'm driving quite as well now on this run. The problem is when you set a run like that on the second attempt up the course, you've got to then go and try and find time. You've got to then try and make up ways to go quicker, and that means you've got to push even harder, and there might just not be the grip for that to kind of work out. So, yeah. It's still going to be quick. It's probably still going to be an equally stupidly fast run up here, but there we go. Get it slowed for the hairpin once more. Having said all that, this might end up going faster. It's very, very difficult to tell on these runs sometimes just quite how well a car is going. Oh no, it's not going to go faster. That was a big oversteer moment. Oh, we got big oversteer at all the wrong times, and we're not going to be able to do it because we're all out of place across the ice we bounce. God damn it. God damn it indeed in the BMW. It is probably the only small niggle, and I say small niggle, and I do very much mean small niggle with this car, is its tendency, is we're going to cross the line. It was a 57.1, I think, in the end. Yeah, the downside to the BMW is there is a little bit of oversteer. Just at that critical moment when I prefer that there isn't, but that's still a stupidly fast time. The BMW will go to the top of the table, the first car not only to get into the 156s, but the first car to get into the 155s. It is set a mighty benchmark for anyone else to try and beat. It is over a second clear of the 242 Turbo, the Lamborghini, and the Lancia Stratos, etc. I did think this car might be pretty quick. I thought it might challenge towards the top. I didn't realise it was going to kind of obliterate the entire table, but there we go. That's a hell of a car. It really is. Combines crazy speed with control. Yeah, personal preference is a little bit too oversteery for my liking, and it can catch you out when you're pushing really very, very hard. However, having said that, when you do get things right, it is very fast. I mean, hell, even on this final run that was very scruffy towards the end, that would have been second place on the table. That's just how fast this this BMW is. So, yeah, that is going to take a lot of beating, I think, when it comes to this hill climb. However, that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.